Godzilla Minus One, Minus Color is a black and white version of the 23 film Godzilla Minus One, which is a Japanese science fiction thriller about a giant monster that emerges from the sea and wreaks havoc on Tokyo. The film is directed by Takashi Yamazaki, who wanted to create a realistic and documentary-like horror film that pays homage to the original 1954 Godzilla movie. The film has been playing in nearly 340 theaters across Japan since January 12, 2024, and will be released in the US by AMC Theaters on January 26, 2024, for only 1 week. The film is set in post-war Japan, where a kamikaze pilot named Koichi Shikishima survives the war and returns to Tokyo with a heavy burden of survivor's guilt. He lives with a woman, Noriko Oishi, and their adopted child, Akiko, who lost their parents in the bombing of Tokyo. One day, Godzilla, a giant monster mutated by nuclear tests, emerges from the sea and attacks Japan, causing widespread destruction and casualties. Shikishima, who had encountered Godzilla before on Odo Island, vows revenge against the monster and joins a group of veterans who plan to destroy it by sinking it to the bottom of the ocean with Freon Tanks. Freon Tanks are used in the film Godzilla Minus One as a weapon to try to destroy Godzilla. The idea is to rupture the tanks attached to the monster, creating bubbles that would sink it to the bottom of the ocean and crush it with the intense air pressure. This plan was devised by weapons engineer Kenji, who wanted to end Godzilla's rampage and avenge his brother's death. Freon tanks are also a symbol of the post-war industrialization and modernization of Japan, which contrasts with the traditional and rural values of Odo Island, where Godzilla originated from. Freon tanks represent both the hope and the danger of human technology in the face of nature's wrath. The director of Godzilla Minus One is Takashi Yamazaki, who is also the writer and the visual effects supervisor of the film. He is a Japanese filmmaker who has directed several popular movies such as Always, Sunset on the Street 2005, The Eternal Zero 2013, and The Great War of Archimedes 2019. He is known for his skill in blending live-action and computer-generated imagery, as well as his interest in historical and science fiction themes. The main actors in Godzilla Minus One are Minami Hamabe as Noriko Oishi, a woman who lost her parents in the bombing of Tokyo and lives with Shikishima and Akiko; Ryonosuke Kamiki as Koichi Shikishima, a kamikaze pilot who survived the war and vows revenge against Godzilla; Sakura Ando as Sumiko Ota, a journalist who investigates the origin and nature of Godzilla; Kuranosuke Sasaki as Seiji Akitsu, a military officer who leads the operation to stop Godzilla; Hidetaka Yoshioka as Kenji Noda, a weapons engineer who devises the plan to kill Godzilla with Freon tanks. Godzilla Minus One was very well received by both audiences and critics, who praised its engaging human stories, realistic and documentary-like horror, and spectacular action scenes. The film has a 98% rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 166 reviews and an average score of 8.7 out of 10. The critics' consensus reads, with engaging human stories anchoring the action, Godzilla Minus One is one kaiju movie that remains truly compelling between the scenes of mass destruction. The film also has a 98% audience score based on over 2,500 verified ratings and an average rating of 4.8 out of 5. The audience says an instant classic addition to the franchise, Godzilla Minus One has terrific special effects and a really entertaining story to match. The film also received positive reviews from other sources such as Roger Ebert, Variety, IGN, and Looper, who called it the blockbuster we needed. The film was a box office success as well, grossing over $49.2 million in the US and over $200 million worldwide. It has been reported that the reason for making a black and white version of Godzilla Minus One was to pay homage to the original 1954 Godzilla film, which was also in black and white. The director Yamazaki said that he wanted to create a contrast between the modern visual effects and the classic style of the first Godzilla film. He also said that he wanted to emphasize the themes of war, trauma, and survival in his film, which he felt were more suited to a monochrome aesthetic. Having said that, I would strongly recommend anyone who is not only a fan of Godzilla films, but a lover of cinema. Watch Godzilla Minus One Minus Color in a movie theater. In black and white, the film takes on a different dimension and realism from the colored version. So much so that I would venture to say Godzilla Minus One Minus Color is a definite work of art. In black and white, each scene looks less than a manufactured production on a stage and more like an actual environment, with real people not merely acting but telling a living, breathing story, with more gritty texture that we could feel on our fingertips as much as take in with our eyes. In black and white, there is no doubt that Godzilla is a horror movie. Blending the monster at night, at sea, and in the smoke and rubble makes it clear that Godzilla is a demon who is bent on doing nothing more than unleash its wrath on a path of destruction on everything and everyone. In black and white, textures could be really felt, such as the dilapidated wooden boat and the worn metal surfaces of the Navy warships, as well as the devastated city of Tokyo after the bombings of World War II. In black and white, the textures of the destroyed homes made it feel more of a real experience in a documentary style, which then added to the hopeful rise of the characters in the film, picking up the pieces of their lives to live again. In black and white, on the big screen, Godzilla Minus One Minus Color is a Suiboku Zen painting on the canvas of the cinema. Examples such as the dark waters of the ocean waves below and the mountainous clouds outlined by the sun behind our dilapidated boat and its crew. Godzilla Minus One Minus Color is a testimony of the beauty as well as the beast of nature herself. Having seen the film now in IMAX, MX4D, and now in black and white, I would have to say that Godzilla Minus One Minus Color is the definitive version of experiencing this great work of cinema. What did you think of Godzilla Minus One? If you have seen both the colored and black and white version, which version did you end up preferring? I would love to hear your thoughts on the film Godzilla Minus One, which I do believe is destined to be an all-time classic. Thank you for visiting the Right Table. Best wishes to you, and have a great day.